Hello everyone, this is Hoda Ganji. In this video, I'm going to show you how I have 3D printed this window. So this is a Revit model. I created it in a Revit family as a generic Revit family. Then I 3D printed it. Well, it's not the best, but well, we can learn lessons from it. So I want to go to my Revit family. This is my Revit family. I have already adjusted and I have compared it with the real dimensions. So when you have a Revit family, you can just go to your home. You can open a new file. I want to go with metric template. I'm going to load this family into the project and close it. And let's just put it here. I didn't change the units. Maybe it's not a bad idea to change the units because if it's in millimeters, sometimes it's going to be too big or too small. Actually, how about I keep it on millimeters and I'll show you the difference between how it works if it's on millimeters or meters. A little bit about this window. It's part of the windows of the Nasir-ol-Molk Mosque in Shiraz in Iran, and it was built in the Qajar dynasty. It's very beautiful, beautiful stained glass work. So this is my Revit file. I'm working in Revit version 2023. So in Revit 2023 and 2022, STL format is already added here. So I'm going to go with this STL format. Binary fine. I changed this to fine. I'm going to leave these settings. I put this on fine already and I'm going to save it. Somewhere that you know, I'm just going to save it as window. Okay. So I'm using FlashForge.com. That's the software I'm using. You can download the software. So this is how FlashForge software or Flashprint software looks like. So this window file is the STL file that I just got from Revit. I want to drag it and drop it here. So repair model, yeah, that's a good idea. If it asks for it, let's do it. So now you see that's how big the printer is. And that's how big the file is. So because it was set on millimeters, it looks too big, but it's okay. When I click on it, it will become yellow. It means it's selected. Now I can go to scale and I can go with maximum. Automatically, it's going to adjust it to just fit your area, which is all good. Okay, I'm gonna leave it on maximum. It all looks good. One thing I could have done, which I realized later, was that maybe I could have erased those glass parts in the 3D print, so it would have looked even nicer. Before we continue, make sure that you have also set the correct machine type. I'm going to use Adventure 4 series. Why it matters? Because it's gonna affect the nozzle size. So if you don't find the machine type you are looking for, you can make sure that at least your nozzle size is the correct size. I know that for our machines is 0.4 millimeters. Next thing we need to do supporting. So because some of these don't start exactly from the ground, this part of the model, it needs a support. So how does it work? We'll go to supports. And we can do auto support either with branches or just vertical. So auto supports with branches is going to look like this. So it made a lot of supports on the bottom. Feel free to try both. I can clear support. Go with this one. Sometimes one might be easier to cut or not. Also, one might be more structurally strong or not. So you can go with whichever seems better. Maybe I'll go with this one. So even if I'm not able to cut the supports, at least they're vertical, so it's gonna look nice. if your supports fall outside the boundary of the machine, you need to scale it. However, it's not going to allow you to scale. Even if you select the item, it's going to be grayed out because it cannot rescale it after the supports has been put. So you need to go clear the supports, scale it, come back. I'm happy with the supports. Next thing we need to do is slicing. So we can go with slicing here at the top. And first, I might just slice it with the overall settings. If you don't see this window, there might be an expert mode that you can click on. I'm going to slice it just to see how long it's going to take, what is the overall timing. Now I can go to slice preview. It's going to take 10 hours. It's good. If you see the purple line around it, it's the raft. And a raft seems like a good idea in this case. So you see, I actually didn't cut the raft off later because it seemed good. So maybe you can decide if you want a raft or not. If you don't want a raft, you can go back to start slicing. Raft is here. You can change it to no and slice it. If it thinks that a raft would be better, it's gonna tell you that it's gonna be better to add a raft. Now it's gonna take 10 hours almost and 70 grams over each meter. So I'm gonna go back to start slicing. I'm gonna bring the raft back on. Now if the printing takes so much time, let's say if we want to limit it to 24 hours and it takes more than that, we can go back to start slicing. Two things you can do is that you can change the fill density. If you want it to take less time, you need to decrease this number. Or you can just rescale it to be smaller. In this case, I want it to be a little bit more solid. So it's a delicate model. I want to make sure that when I cut the supports, it's not going to hurt the model. So I'm going to go with a more solid, less porous material, which means I might change this density even to 40%. Slice it again, and we'll see how much more time it's going to take. Now it's up to 12 hours. I might still go back. Another thing that affects the time, well, there are so many things, but one other thing that I would like to talk about is the layer height. Each time is gonna pour 0.2 millimeter, which is half of the width of the nozzle. If I want it to be a little bit more detailed, maybe if I go with a lower number here, it's gonna take more time. If your time goes up too much, then you can go with a higher number for the layer height. So I'm going to try layer height 0.1, slice it again, and now it's taking 21 hours. I think the model that I printed here, it actually took about 13 hours or so. So maybe it's going to be more detailed this time. When you are ready, you can close this window. If you haven't saved your model already, you can save it somewhere that you know. I'm going to save it as disk. This is the .fpp, which is the Flashprint file. It's not the file that you put on your USB and print, but I'm going to still save it. But the file that you actually connect to your printer is the one that goes to save to local, and it's a .gx file. This is the format that knows the XYZ, so it can assign the access of the machine to the XYZ of the model, and it's going to print it. So I'm going to save this. You put this .gx file on the machine, you print it, you remove the supports, and hopefully you get something like this. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe for more videos.